everyone join. Hi there, everybody. Bob Buchanan, Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing with RapidScale, and thank you for joining us once again for our sales monthly webinar. It's the first Wednesday of the month. We try to keep these consistent, and appreciate you joining us today. Really excited to talk about Mimecast and positioning Mimecast solutions, and as always, I want to remind everyone that the session will be recorded. We'll send out a copy of the recording to all of the registrants. We'll also be available to answer any questions that you might have, so feel free to use the chat or send those into to our email address, and we'll get those answered either after the call, if appropriate, time permitting, or we'll send those out following the session. So, without further ado, I want to introduce everyone to Lori Tattaglia. She's our partner and account manager with Mimecast. Lori, welcome.
Thank you.
Lori, you know what? High level, share with the folks on the call. Give us a 30,000-foot view of who Mimecast is as a company.
Mimecast is your unified email management solution. We are industry-leading archiving as well as advanced security and continuity. So that continuity is 100% email uptime, which we'll get into all in just a little bit. But that's your 30,000 view of Mimecast.
Awesome. Look forward to digging in with you in a little bit more detail. But as far as the webinar agenda, an overview. Customers, like use cases, who would we be targeting, the bundles and packaging, kind of the go-to-market necessarily with RapidScale and what that partnership looks like, the competitive landscape, and obviously next steps, including questions and how we can engage together. So let's get started. The Mimecast relationship, and I'll kick it off here with the relationship in general. I personally have worked very closely with Mimecast for many years, and even before my coming over to the RapidScale team and joining our company. So you guys are an industry leader in the space, and you're a perfect complement to what RapidScale does, in the sense that, number one, you're hitting a core competency that's not organic to our portfolio, right? You're the experts at this. And then number two, it's a recurring revenue model that's all cloud-based, right? So tell us a little bit more about the relationship from your perspective.
So we have been a partner with RapidScale for going on 3 or 4 years now. You guys originally started out as one of our resellers, and you have moved over to the MSP model. With the MSP model, one of the benefits you provide to all of your partners is that you provide that L1, L2 support. You do all of the implementation for their customers. So it's been a really great partnership, continuing to grow year after year. And it's been one that we've enjoyed here at Mimecast.
Well, I appreciate that. And when you say reseller and you say MSP partner, and I maybe I'm just looking at it too simplistically, but maybe if you could add some color. I think of it as the difference between maybe it's on RapidScale paper as a reseller, meaning we put it on our paper, and here's kind of the pricing model that we can then sell, our partners can sell to the end customer, versus that end customer is calling RapidScale to first level support. We're taking that end user call and then escalating into Mimecast as necessary. Do I have that correct? And can you elaborate?
Correct. So with our reseller program, it's more Mimecast hands-on deck. So a reseller would bring Mimecast to deal or vice versa. Once that customer signs on, the reseller kind of loses not contact with that customer, but Mimecast pretty much takes over. They would call in direct for support. And then with our MSP program, for yourself, RapidScale would manage the customer experience. So you guys would do the implementation. You would be the first line of support for them, whereas Mimecast has a relationship more with RapidScale and not with the customer at all.
Awesome. I appreciate that, and that definitely is where my head was, and I think it's an important point. When I think of Mimecast, obviously I think of mail, and I have encountered folks out in the marketplace that have said, does Mimecast provide email? And the answer there is no. I think you hit it on the 30,000-foot overview. We're going to dive in more, but here on the relationship slide, we're obviously highlighting mail. We're also highlighting security, and we'll dive into that here in just a moment. But for our partners that have joined us today, if there's three things I want them to understand is what is Mimecast and why is it critical? So why is it critical? Who should they be targeting? And then what's really the Mimecast value prop versus maybe the competitive landscape as we're going to get into. So we'll one of the things, and I'll say this, when you think about cloud and jumping into the cloud and the migration to the cloud, email and Office 365 and hosted exchange options, those are low-hanging fruit, but they're also commoditized. I think as we're going to learn today, Mimecast is a great value-add opportunity, and these opportunities are fairly easy to identify. And it's a great complementary strategy that's really needed in the space because it's all about security. So Mimecast at a glance. Lori, why don't you help us understand the company in a little more depth?
Sure. So we were founded in 2003 over in the UK. Peter Bauer wanted to move to the US in around 2008, so he started what we now call our North America headquarters here in Boston. We have 4 offices throughout the United States. We've got Chicago, Dallas, and San Francisco. We are now a global company with the addition to the UK. We have offices in Australia, South Africa, Dubai, and we're looking to expand over into the Asia market pretty soon as well. So we've got 10 data centers globally. We manage over 130 billion messages a day. Under management, 120 million messages are processed each day. We have over 29,000 customers. That's growing every single day. And one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is our revenue retention rate. As you can see, it's 110%, and we can get into a little bit more of that in a little bit. And then just the amount of data that we archive on a daily basis. It's 180 petabytes. Yeah,
that's awesome. I mean, this slide's pretty impactful. It tells you stability, obviously market demand, and a company that has a lot of experience in this space. So when I think of Mimecast, and again, I've been working with you guys for years, the biggest thing that I think of right away is I think security, and I think about risk mitigation. Right. So when you're moving to the cloud, why are customers, maybe I should say, why do customers not move to the cloud, especially with email? If I think about mid-market and down especially, I might be thinking I want to go to Office 365. I want to get away from my internal Exchange environment. What's the right strategy? Hey, or there might be, maybe even worse, there might be there's some ignorance around if I go to Office 365 or I go to one of these other platforms, I'm automatically basically lowering my risk, addressing some of these concerns. And in many cases, that's simply not the truth. Can you elaborate on that and how Mimecast addresses it? Yeah,
I think you nailed the head, you nailed it on the head there. You've got kind of 2 buckets of people that are looking at the cloud. So you've got the people that are completely terrified of it because they don't know where their data is or who has access to it. And then you've got the people that are looking to moving to the cloud because they want to free up their on-prem environment, reduce cost. Moving to the cloud, I mean, you're going to have your risk there. Like when you were in an on-prem environment, you always had a multi-layer approach to protection. That shouldn't change when you move to the cloud. A little later, we're going to kind of show you one of our Ezra reports where we sat behind Office 365 for a rather large organization, and we just kind of let Office 365 do their things, but then we also showed the customer what we would do in the back end of, what we would capture versus what they didn't capture. So yeah, you've got the two people, the ones that are ready to move and then the ones that are kind of afraid to move. But, we've always say, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. You never did this when you were on-prem, so you still need that multi-layer approach.
Fantastic. So speaking of the security hinge, we're about to dive into this topic in greater detail. But the three buckets, and before you jump into the advanced security, Lori, I want to, for the audience, I see the core value proposition as Mimecast delivers the security. They also deliver long-term archival, and they also ensure business continuance. And when you wrap all those three things together, there's really not another solution in the marketplace that has the same value prop. And I don't want to steal your thunder, but I know in preparing for today's call, the next couple of slides are going to speak to those three things. And I really want the audience to understand that this is the core of the value prop. So Lori, I'll turn it over to you here.
Yep. So our advanced security is, we like to think, industry leading. Your standard antivirus, anti-spam is not enough this day and age. It's no longer if we're going to get attacked, it's more of when we're going to get attacked. And this is what customers really need to think about. We've done a lot of research on our side. We have learned that over 60% of small businesses go out of business within 6 months of being some type of attack, whether it's, it's a business email attack, a CEO fraud, a W-2 fraud, anything like that. So what we've done is, with the recommendation of Gartner and Forrester, we rolled in our targeted threat protection suite into our basic security package. So what that targeted threat protection suite includes is our URL rewrite. So every single URL within a body of an email and an attachment, we're going to scan every single click, whether it's 10 years down the road and it's something you've got in your archive and you want to re-click that link, we're going to scan it again. With our URL, we also have implemented a user awareness. We've partnered up with PhishMe. And in that user awareness, we help users understand the threat. We provide them with some key features to look for, and then we ask if they want to continue to the site or if they want to exit. One thing is, this is all trackable and through our administration console. So you always have that one user that says, I didn't click on that link. Well, with our administration console, you can show them when they clicked, and you can even show them that they may have been made aware about it. So these kind of awarenesses can be set up to come automatically, or more often for some people that needs increased awareness and understanding. Our second targeted threat protection is our impersonation protect. We were the first in the industry to roll out this type of protection. And we actually rolled it out because in July of 2015, we received an email that looked like it came from our CFO to one of our controllers. The communication went back and forth between this hacker for about an hour, hour and a half, and then our controller kind of realized some language that our CFO doesn't actually use. So he actually forwarded it to our CFO and to our security officer and said, what is this? But this hacker mirrored our domain. So instead of it being Mimecast, they did Mimecast. So a quick glance of the I, you didn't catch that R in the end, it looks like an M. So that's one of the things that we're checking for. We're also checking for when the domain was acquired, and then also the activity on the domain. So that's with our impersonation protect. And then we also have sandboxing, which is our attachment protect. So we do both preemptive sandboxing and safe file transcription. So we can either send a PDF version of that attachment down. We've learned that about 80% of attachments, that's all they need. You don't need the actual live attachment. Or we can send down the actual scanned version of the file. There's about a 2 to 3 minute delay. And then with both types of this sandboxing, you can use within the same, or use both type of sandboxing within the same organizations. You can set it up, for different users within that organization. So we really stand out on our advanced security, with these 3 features. And then we have your data link prevention. So we'll look for keywords within a message. If you needed that to go send securely or encrypted, we can do that as well, or we can actually block those messages as well.
Yeah, that's a great overview, and it's obvious that spam and virus protection alone are table stakes, and what Mimecast is offering in their solution is a lot more granularity and closer inspection and intelligence to really lower the risk again. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it gets into that second piece of the value prop. It's business continuance, right? And are you hosting Exchange internally today? And we're seeing that more and more workloads in the email space are moving towards cloud platforms. And we've already kind of hit on Office 365 and what's happening there, but there's other host Exchange platforms, including what we offer organically here at RapidScale. But maybe touch on the value prop here, and again, this goes back to risk mitigation. If you lose your primary Exchange, and today Exchange is so critical, I don't think we think of it as a mission critical app, but if email's down, today business communication is often down. So I'd love for you to touch on the business continuance side.
Sure. So, whether an organization email is managed on-prem, in the cloud, or even a hybrid setup, having your email up and running and available is, a critical aspect of every organization. Like you said, email down, you can't do business. With Mimecast Continuity, the Mimecast service can take over sending and receiving your organization's mail, during a planned outage. So one benefit is, if you need to do some maintenance on your on-prem server, you can go ahead and do that without having to do it after hours. So a lot of engineers love that feature. A lot of IT departments love that feature. They're not having to work overtime. They can do it during their day. And then Office 365. We know Office 365 goes down. For the past 2 years, on June 30th, they've been down for several hours. And then you always have those random little spurts of outages. There was one over in the UK a couple weeks ago. So Mimecast provides 100% email uptime, and that's a financially backed SLA. We're doing that with an MX redirect, since we're the first point of contact, last point of exit for the mail flow. And in addition to seamless continuity through the Outlook plugin, users can also take advantage of a Mimecast mobile app. That's everything from smartphones to Android, iPhones, even Blackberries. And then we also have that Mimecast webmail portal they can utilize as well. So they'll still be able to send and receive messages in live time. And then
so in a real life
Exchange,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. So yeah,
I was going to say, you finish up for it. Sorry.
So when Exchange or Office 365 come back online, what we're going to do is we're going to deduplicate those messages. So even if you've moved them over into a folder, we'll see that the messages have been read or not read, and we'll deduplicate any messages that have been delivered.
Yeah, that's awesome. So in a real world scenario, essentially you mentioned there's 10 data centers globally. The MX records are then making sure that email traffic is going into the Mimecast cloud. So inbound and outbound mail is going to the Mimecast cloud, and then a copy of that mail is then dropped in the Mimecast cloud, ensuring that the data store is there in the event of an unplanned outage. And then in the event of an unplanned outage, what does the user actually see? So email goes down today, and I'm either on my mobile device or trying to access it over my PC. What's the customer experience like in that scenario?
I would say 9 out of 10 times your customers never know they're experiencing an outage, unless they just happen to look down at the bottom right of their computer and see that it's working offline. They're still going to send and receive messages in live time, and they're not going to know anything's going on.
So that's massive. That's amazing. I mean, the alternative to that would be I'm going to have to build out a global Exchange cluster to ensure that type of uptime.
Yep. So, I mean, we recommend end users use our Mimecast for mobile app. That's what I actually use instead of my native mail on my iPhone. I use the mobile app because I can actually send secure messages from that as well, and I can also search my archive. So I have a work phone and a personal phone. I've got the mobile app loaded on both of them, so if I need to check emails during the weekend, I'm on my personal phone and I can check. I have access to everything that I need, like I would with my PC.
Awesome. So speaking of archiving, the third piece of the value prop, essentially, am I correct in the statement that you will archive each piece of email for up to 99 years? Is that correct?
That's correct. So if you have a company that has, a 7-year retention for, compliance reasons, you can change it, but out of the box, 99 years, we don't charge for the amount of storage once you sign on for the Mimecast services. There are some additional fees if you ingest your historical data into Mimecast. So say you're with another provider, you want to have everything under us, we can ingest that data, and then there would just be either a one-time fee or a monthly storage fee for that data. But, as I mentioned, we're the industry leading in archiving. We have been the top, on the top right of the Magic Quadrant for Gartner, 2 years in a row. We're expecting to be there again this year. We have a 7-second financially backed SLA for searching in our archive. It's fully encrypted, immutable, and redundant. And like I said, 99 years, completely bottomless.
I don't have 99 years of mail, but we eat our own dog food at RapidScale, yeah. And we're as you know we're a Mimecast customer, and I found myself using it multiple times a day, and it is incredibly quick to get in and do discovery and find the right the email I'm looking for in the subject or who it was from. Maybe a little bit more on like what type of company or industry this really would be applicable to, and does it help meet any type of compliance needs?
It does. So with our e-discovery searches, because our archive is completely immutable, it takes 2 super admin users to delete anything out of our archive. Basically, that's 1 to execute or 1 to request and 1 to execute. So, with Office 365, you can have an end user delete a message. They can also delete it from their archive. With Mimecast, that's not the case. So if you have, a company that has compliance that they need to keep stuff for 7 years or 10 years or all the time, that have e-discovery cases, our archive is completely immutable. So it can never be changed. And
I think of public. I think of and apologize again. I just I think of public companies that are trying to meet Sarbanes-Oxley, and then what I've seen personal experience with has been law firms who really need to keep any type of electronic correspondence.
Correct. Law firms, medical firms, hospitals, medical offices, anything like that. Construction companies, engineering companies.
We all got lots of customers that meet those profiles.
Yep.
So on the next slide here, I look at this slide and it's kind of before Mimecast, and I kind of think about traditional IT, and we often talk about traditional IT versus next generation IT, and really the impact on the cloud. And if you take the Exchange environment that we were traditionally managing, and we've got multiple vendors that are managing maybe spam antivirus, maybe there's another vendor that's helping us with archive, maybe it's additional storage I had to go purchase and then manage that myself with my internal resources. I might not have another technology for encryption. And then obviously from an architecture standpoint, not only am I having to build out highly available architecture on the hardware side, but also thinking about Exchange clusters in my internal data center if I'm not outsourcing that to a third party. But I guess what I'm getting at is there's a lot of complexity here, and you guys really simplify all of this and allow you to elaborate.
Exactly. You touched on everything. This is expensive. There's a lot of room for human error. And then, after Mimecast, we do away with that. With, kind of your before scenario, you've got a vendor for antivirus, anti-spam, you've got the encryption piece. After Mimecast, mail's routed through Mimecast, we store everything in triplicate at the gateway. We scan for your standard antivirus, anti-spam, your advanced threats, and then we provide that 100% email uptime. So it's seamless, it's easy. It's easy to add on to in the future. So if you wanted to just start out with, just our security, and you wanted to add on features and additional features in the future, policies are going to go from your initial policies of security and then, go through every single one of our add-ons. You're not having additional add-cons or additional things to set up. So these are kind of, the bundles that we offer. So we've got 3 ongoing services. We call them S1, which is your advanced threat security. And then if you wanted to kind of bundle in some of our solutions, our M2 bundle is our advanced security plus that continuity piece, that 100% email uptime. And then if you have a customer that needs the archiving piece as well, you would get the advanced security, the continuity, and then the archiving. And then we've got a number of add-on features. Large file send, really big with law firms, accountants, construction engineering firms. Our secure messaging, that's going to be our end-to-end encryption, closed circuit messaging. So we send everything opportunistic TLS with a fallback of enforced TLS, but then if you just need that extra layer of security, we have that secure messaging piece. Both large file send and secure messaging can be purchased for a subset of users, so it doesn't have to be purchased account-wide. Then we've got our archive power tools. That's really great for add-on feature for our email archiving. That is our folder replication structure. So when you're in our archive and you just want to search a folder, we actually developed this product for our legal vertical that we have. And then our internal email protect, that is the 3 layers of our targeted threat protection, but with the journal feed, we can monitor your internal mail flow as well. So we like to think everybody has the best employees and that, they're not going to do anything they shouldn't be doing, but what happens if their environment does get compromised, or what happens if they decide they wake up on the wrong side of the bed and they're going to start sending out stuff that they don't need to send out to competitors. With our internal email protect, we can catch and monitor that. We can completely block it. We can send it to management to let them notify what's going on. And then 2 of our brand new add-ons that we just rolled out that aren't listed on this is our Sync and Recover, and then also our healthcare pack. So with Sync and Recover, it includes the archive power tools, but we have the ability to now recover any mail flow. That's Office 365 and on-prem. So we can recover mailboxes, calendar, contact, and it's pretty seamless of how we can recover. We sync 6 times a day with our archiving, and then we can get those mailboxes up and running within a matter of minutes instead of you having to wait, 2 to 3 hours to get that back up and running.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And guys, these bundles, as we kind of stated at the beginning, are available directly from RapidScale. It's on our quote, it's on our paper, it's productized. Our pre-sales engineering will assist with our channel managers and you to help with any type of engagement, including the discovery. But Mimecast is an awesome partner, and we often do bring them in when needed to speak to the customer. If a demo is necessary, if they'd like to really learn more about some of these outlying offerings and add-ons, oftentimes we'll rely on them for that education. But it's truly a great partnership. They're designed to be incredibly partner friendly, and it's worked out very well. So learning more about the bundles and the offering, we can have direct conversations with you at your convenience. I could speak to this very quickly, but I think you're going to do a better job of it, obviously representing Mimecast, but you guys have obviously, as you mentioned, like RapidScale, high customer retention, and then speak a little bit on the partner focus and really what that means, and then maybe talk a little bit more about the tools that are available to help us sell.
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, we have that 110% revenue retention. You can see that we keep 98% of our customers. Those 2% are typically customers that have been acquired or that they have gone out of business. The 110%, as we roll out new products, our customers are wanting them. They're adding on. So that's how it's 110%. We are a partner-focused organization. We are dedicated to be 100% channel in the SMB and mid-market. So what that means for you is that as we have customers calling in to Mimecast, looking for Mimecast services, I should say prospects, not customers, we're going to reach out to RapidScale. RapidScale is then going to bring them to you. So we are that, we're 100% channel focused. RapidScale's been a partner with us for several years, as mentioned before, and they provide all your level 1, level 2 support and implementation. They've taken the certification, so they know this product inside and out. Some of the additional resources that we have, we've got great email campaigns that RapidScale can take advantage of, for your customer base or your prospect base, just to throw the interest out there for, Mimecast. There's certification programs, there's a lot of marketing resources. And then, if you have an end user that you're working with and they really just want to see a demo of what it's going to be like on the end user experience, we're more than happy to jump on a call with you and RapidScale with your customers.
Awesome. And I can attest that that's all factual, and we've experienced that in real time. So appreciate it, Lori. Getting to the competitive landscape, I think you've actually hit some of, when you think about going back to those 3 core pillars of the business, and when you combine obviously there's auxiliary services that kind of are those add-ons, but the core pillars of the business, when you combine those 3 things, business continuity, the security piece, and the archival, I really think that puts you in a different category. But often, I know our partners are seeing this, we're seeing it, our customers are like, oh, we have Proofpoint, or we may have Symantec. Why don't you maybe help us better understand how to hit some of those objectives or objections?
Yeah, so I'd say we often see Proofpoint as our major competitor who we come up against. Kind of suggest some differences that stand out. The user awareness with the logging, to detect problems, is not something they offer. The save file conversion and on-demand sandboxing, that's not something they offer as well. They're imposter, they call it imposter protect. It's basically just a setting from 0 to 100, so there's really no insight to why it's actually what's being blocked, what they're actually looking for. And then our impersonation protect obviously stands out. Our internal email protect not only identifies internal and outbound threats, but automatically removes the threat. So we offer that 100% email uptime that's guaranteed. A lot of our competitors don't offer that. We have the Mimecast for Outlook. A lot of our customers don't have that Outlook plugin, so it enhances the user experience and drastically can reduce, common help desk tickets and calls. So, but one thing just to mention is that Mimecast is 100% homegrown. We built our own platform. It's called MimeOS. So that's how we can easily add on new features that we develop in-house. We don't acquire other companies. Everything is homegrown and developed. We have a very large development team over in the UK. It actually is more than double than our sales team globally.
Awesome. And I'll stress one more thing. Those competitors we listed out, none of them have the go-to-market model that aligns as nicely with a company like RapidScale to resell and get support. So if your solutions and products weren't at the highest standards, obviously that would make it a non-starter. But of course they are, and then your go-to-market makes it a no-brainer.
Yep.
Okay, a little bit more on the product bundles, and then we'll kind of get towards closing.
Yep, so this is that ESRA report that I mentioned at the beginning of the call. So this is with an 8,000 seat organization, rather large organization, and we sat behind Office 365. I believe they were on EOP. I don't have that information in front of me, and I should. They were running EOP. As you can see, they received almost 10 million messages within that 30-day period. So we would have blocked almost half of that. We caught, over 600 dangerous file types. We caught almost 400 malware attachments, 41 malwares that were caught by Sandbox, and then almost 300 impersonation protects that would have cost, could have cost $1.8 million. And this is all stuff that Office 365 passed through that we would have caught.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. So we've got RapidScale's got a number of customers that have taken advantage of the Mimecast bundles and the solution. Always try to wrap up with what a deal looks like. We've got basically a financial business. It's in the western region of the U.S. For obvious reasons, protecting the customer. They were previously using AppRiver for anti-spam, Global Relay, kind of one of the competitors in the archival space, and Sirius for secure email. Kind of what we talked about, right? There's 3 different vendors in here providing that solution, 400 users. They were already, the beauty of this is already a RapidScale customer. As you can see, the total MRR today is 66K, but this was a really nice customer who's taking advantage of a lot of offerings within the RapidScale portfolio. But being a financial business, security's huge. And when you think of security in the RapidScale security portfolio, Mimecast is an absolute critical piece of our security practice. It's just a piece that helps with the email side of things. It also helps us with risk mitigation, and these are all business drivers that a financial company would certainly have. So just under a 6K MRR deal, that's a really nice deal. To add to an already growing customer. And it goes to show you when you bring deals into RapidScale, the portfolio can grow. So this is another nice way to get some of that additional uptick inside the base. So with that, Summer, we will turn it over to any questions that may have come in from myself or Lori.
Yeah, I'll read a couple for you guys. The first that came in was, what is the minimum number of mailboxes, or is there a minimum?
So there's not a minimum. The way that we count users is active users. We don't charge for aliases or distribution lists. We like to say anybody that has a belly button.
And then Bob, is there anything on the RapidScale side that we suggest in terms of that?
Yeah, I think it goes, we try to keep the minimums to about 25 users. I mean, will we consider exceptions? Sure, but that's pretty standard even when we're selling mail. So for obvious reasons, there's some level of consistency.
Yeah. Okay, does Mimecast offer any email backup for Office 365?
We do. That is our brand new product, Sync and Recover. So if, like I said, their mailbox were to get corrupt, or they delete something that they shouldn't have deleted, we are able to back up that email and retrieve it again.
Awesome. And then finally, can you just speak broadly to what the end user experience is like?
Sure. So end user experience can be completely customizable. We have the Mimecast for Outlook plugin. So if you wanted to allow your end users to search their own archive, you can give them access to that. If you want them to be able to manage their personal white and blacklist, obviously those white and blacklists would be trumped by any global blacklist or whitelist that your company has set. We can do that as well. And then also they have the ability to see those messages that are being held. That way, they're not coming to the IT department saying, hey, I was supposed to receive this message. It hasn't come in yet. It may be held up in my spam folder. they can actually go and check that themselves and pull that down if they need to. But it's completely customizable. It can be set with different distribution groups within inside your organization. So if you needed, you know, an admin that didn't really need any access to anything, but if you had like a C-level employee that wanted, you know, you wanted to give access to everything, they could do that as well. So it's completely customizable.
Awesome. All right, that's it.
Awesome.
Questions, you guys?
Awesome questions, gang. I'll kind of close this out. Speaking directly to our partners and friends, it's a great solution. These deals they're low-hanging fruit because they're often easy to identify. You know, everyone's using mail today, as we discussed, for critical business communication. And you know, if you're engaged in a mail deal or you're speaking to your customer, have they had any unplanned outages with email, and what was the impact? Is there any compliancy requirements to keep email archived or be able to retrieve it necessarily on demand, right? What kind of security do they have for email today, and have there been any known threats to the organization? How are they handling that, and how are they assured that the security needs are being met? You know, you'll often find that your customer is utilizing either no strategy, which is obviously not good, or a multi-threaded strategy, and they can, you know, improve efficiencies and save cost. And you can then come in as a trusted advisor together with Mimecast and RapidScale and really look great and drive some really good deals. So with that, I'll remind everyone that we got the 15th of November, which is coming quickly, a week from 2 weeks from today, I should say. And Dylan Bowders, one of our senior solutions engineers, will be talking about Zerto and reviewing more of a technical trading versus sales. RapidScale is a strategic partner for business continuance and DR. We'll be joining Dylan discussing today's business needs and why Zerto is a leader in the space, and what customers might be a good fit for this solution, and how it kind of applies to our cloud recovery practice. Guys, if you have any other questions, email us directly, get with your channel manager, and we'll be glad to engage with you on any Mimecast opportunities. Thanks, and have a great November. Bye.